right now. The other day, you introduced legislation entitled the Life at Conception Act. I believe you were designing this to overturn, in effectively Roe versus Wade. Is that right?
I think it's probably designed even more philosophically than that. It's designed to begin the discussion over when life begins. And it's not an easy discussion, and we're divided as a country on it, so I don't think we're in any real rush towards any new legislation, to tell you the truth. But what I would say is that it's an important philosophical discussion because all of our rights to do anything we choose to do as individuals sort of stem from an individual right to life. And all of us agree to that at some point in time. So for the 6-month-old baby that's been born and that is at home in a crib, the state will step in if a mother abuses it or a father does. We all agree we're going to protect the 6-month-old. We pretty much all agree on the 1-day-old. Before that, we have some disagreements. But my intention is to bring it forward, have a healthy, philosophic, and moral discussion over what we should do, what the state should be involved with, when should life be protected. And I don't think we're ready yet for our society maybe to change any laws, but I think it's worthwhile having the discussion if we can keep it from being too much of a flippant discussion over this, that, concrete, this and that, and that it's an important philosophical foundation to the law of a civilization.
So just to be precise, if you believe life begins at conception, which I suspect you do believe that, you would have no exceptions for rape, incest, the life of the mother. Is that right?
Well, I think that once again puts things in too small of a box. What I would say is that there are thousands of exceptions. You know, I'm a physician, and every individual case is going to be different, and everything's going to be particular to that individual case and what's going on with that mother and the medical circumstances of that mother. I would say that after birth, you know, we've decided that when life begins, we have decided that we don't have exceptions for 1-day-old or 6-month-olds. We don't ask where they came from or how they came into being. But it is more complicated because the rest of it depends on the definition of when life comes in. So I don't think it's as simple as checking box and saying exceptions or no exceptions. I've been there at the beginning of life. I've held 1-pound babies in my hand that I examine their eyes. I've been there at the end of life. And there are a lot of decisions that are made privately by families and their doctors that really the law won't apply to. But I think it's important that we not be flippant one way or the other and pigeonhole and say, oh, this person doesn't believe in any sort of discussion between family. And so, no, I don't know if there's a simple way to put me in a category on any of that.
Well, it sounds like you believe in some exceptions.
Well, there's going to be, like I say, thousands of extraneous situations where the life of the mother is involved and other things that are involved. So I would say that each individual case would have to be addressed. And even if there were eventually a change in the law, let's say that people came more to my way of thinking, there'd still be a lot of complicated things that the law may not ultimately be able to address in the early stages of pregnancy that would have to be part of what occurs between the physician and the woman and the family. And this goes for the same with the end of life. I do think life ought to be protected to the end. I don't believe in, you know, officially euthanizing people, but I also think there is some privacy at the end of life also. And we make difficult decisions all the time on resuscitation, how long to extend medical treatment, and a lot of these are medical decisions. But I think that what I don't believe that I can compromise on is that I think there is something special about life, and that all of the rights that we spend time up here discussing, the right to trial by jury, all of these things stem from a sort of a primordial right to your life and how you use it.
One final question, because we're almost out of time. You're going to Iowa in May for a major Republican fundraising